going down. It had to do with like, vacation packaging and stuff like that. So it was kind of just pretty much going downhill. And
What year was this?
Man, so we had our tax office. When was this? Like 2000. I want to say that was 2019 when it was kind of going downhill. Yeah. 2009 or 2018 when it was really starting to go downhill. 2019 is when I first started doing the taxes.
Right.
So 2018 tax office going downhill. I mean, our call center going downhill. We're trying to figure out what in the world to do. And one of my partners he gets with one of his friends and partners, like, you know what, we're gonna start a tax office. So they kind of start one across the street in this or across the hall in the same building as our call center, right? And they're doing their thing, but our call center is like it was like in a beautiful building, but at the end of the day, it's no street traffic, right? So I think for your first year, I would just suggest this right now. Please don't get a tax office in some quiet building where no one's going to see you your first year unless you already have like 200 plus clients. Like if you're going to market heavy and spend like $100,000 on Facebook ads a year, then fine. But otherwise, if you're going to get an office, don't even bother getting it in a quiet space. I mean, it's literally, you might as well do it at home. So that was my boy's mess up his first year. And so then he gets with me like around January, the end of it. He's like, man, we need more clients. And he's like, man, people, do you want to get some clients? I'm like, yeah, but I don't know how to do taxes. And he's like, it's cool. We're going to give you a crash course. So in 2 days, I get a crash course on how to do taxes. And
wow.
Yeah, it was horrible. It was so horrible. But you know what? We did it. I started getting clients. I'm like, I needed money anyway. But believe it or not, those 2 days, so we're talking about what I think January 28th is when we originally did it. 2 days from there. Tax season is only until April 15th, guys. So let's just be clear. Obviously they've been doing extensions and stuff because of COVID, but tax day was always pretty much April 15th. And so now it's pretty much February and he wants me to get clients. But I did it. I busted out and man, I produced 30K and that was a little bit of months. No overhead really, except for like referrals. Cause you want to pay referrals, but, that was pretty much it the first year. And then, for me, it was like the next year I was like, man, nah, I need my own space. My business partner, it told me, he was like, hey, why don't we just do this? We can get our own office. We can do it. Like, still with my boy, we're still a family in that sense, but he was like, nah, let's do it. Let's start our own. Let's do our own marketing. And we did it, and it was kind of like, my boy in his office and us in our office. And again, so we did like marketing and stuff as a team together, but really it's like that first or that next year, it was that quick to just start our own office and just start busting taxes.
So what does that look like for the people that's curious? Like, because you get a lot of people, like people probably gonna watch this replay and they're gonna be like, yo, I'm just looking for this hustle to bring us nice money. What does it look like for us to marketing? You just text everybody your phone, hey, y'all, I'm doing taxes, come see me. Or
so for us, we did social media marketing, right? Social media marketing, posting on Instagram, posting on Facebook. I think back then I wasn't really doing like reels or anything, so I kind of was just marketing on Facebook to like my friends. Now I suggest do some reels, make your Facebook public. Quick story on that actually. A week and a half ago, I only had 200 followers on Facebook. Now I have 7.5K. So
because of the reels?
Because of the reels, yep. Just posting them. And a couple of my reels blew up, and in less than 2 weeks, I've grown my page tremendously. So if you want to market, that helps you a lot, because to be honest, I and you hate to say, don't ever say, I wish I did it sooner. I'm glad I did it now, because now I know, wow, I have 7.5K people that's probably going to grow by January, right? That I'm going to be able to advertise taxes to. So, but yeah, so we really just did IG. And so for marketing though, like I would say, other than online and posting like we made like little flyers, the digital business cards, But honestly, we were in the streets. I'm talking about door tags.
Wow.
I'm talking about yard signs. You know what I mean? My business partner would drive. I'd run out, put the yard signs, run back in, and yeah, man. I mean, at the end of the day, when you're starting a business, you're not too good to do anything. I mean, if you're too good to put out some yard signs and some door tags and go out in the sun and put flyers and stuff like that on people's cars, if you're too good for that, then you're too good to have your own business. To me, I think
Yeah, I agree. I think like when I started my first business, like official business, it was a lot of guerrilla marketing, like
right,
going out putting business cards on people's windshields.
right,
And I think that now, like people, they don't want to do that work. It's
no,
not insulting anybody. I think everybody's looking to pay for something, and then they thinking that the results gonna come in 2 weeks. And I'm like, yo, if you want to start something for yourself and you want to have stability, you must add the work ethic with it.
you have to. And don't get me wrong. Now, I'm not gonna lie. Now, do I do guerrilla marketing? No, I do more of the Facebook stuff, but or like the social media marketing. I do a lot of that personally because I grew a following, right? But when I didn't have one, when people wonder and they're like, well, how am I gonna get clients? You need to go out there and put your stuff out. Because guess what? The hundreds of clients that we had, that's exactly how we got them. How we've been growing our business and continuously been growing it over 30%. I think almost 50% in growth just this past year, which is why, like I said, we kind of outsource the marketing now. We pay someone to do it, or like the guerrilla marketing stuff, but we did it. We did it actually not even just that first year, the first 2 years, because technically, if you think about it, I said that we started 2019 is when I started in the tax business, meaning 2019 tax year, but 2018 filing. My first year having my office was during COVID.
How did that work out?
Honestly, I'm glad we did a lot of the marketing that we said we were going to do, because again, January we're kind of getting worried, stuff's getting kind of crazy. By March, I think 3rd or 5th, they had shut our office down, but from January to February, we're hustling. Like after our office hours, we'd go out and put marketing material out. But during our lunch break, we would put material out. So thank goodness that we did do that, because we were able to maintain a good, steady client flow and still continuously to gain clients during COVID. So that was amazing. And then of course we stepped our online marketing game up. But it was worrisome. I would say it wasn't rough like how we thought it was going to be, and I think, like I said, we saved face by doing a lot of that, but it was worrisome. The next year and continuously the year after that, you see the difference of obviously just getting way more clientele now, but I would say we still did pretty good, and that saves you have to do it.
So what do you think, like, by this business opportunity, what do you think someone should be doing right now to capitalize on this tax season? I think tax season starts in the middle of January. I think some people be reaching out to their W-2s. I know we can't file yet.
Yeah, tax season starts January 1st. Because all those people that want tax advances, cash advances, they're gonna hit you up January 1st.
And how that works? I know. Like, I'm asking so many questions, but I'm just curious because, like, I love to look at opportunities where you can work virtually or work remotely and still make a substantial amount of money in a short period of time. How do that work? Where you're saying, because I see people, I can get you $12,000 cash advance. How do that work?
Well, so with the cash advances, or when you're in taxes, right, part of the most essential things that you need to do, besides obviously having your software, is having a bank product. The bank product is pretty much a third-party bank that separates the money from IRS when it's coming from the IRS. They give you your portion and they give the client their portion. Yeah, they do take a little bit. It's like $60 or whatever to process the direct deposit, but nothing crazy. And that's in part of the reason why they do that is so you don't have to charge your client up front, and realistically, so you can also charge them more, right? People don't always have a bunch of money to pay you up front, $600. Sometimes, I think my pricing average is like $899 for my clients, which I'll explain why. But, and that, like I said, comes out of their taxes. The bank product separates it. So, Sorry, I almost lost the point in explaining
So
that.
the bank product. So
Yes.
like give it like people saying, yeah, get up to $12,000 before you get your taxes, blah blah.
Correct.
So
And so the bank product is pretty much who issues the cash advance, right? So with the bank product, as long as that person, typically there's only like a handful of bank products out there, which means that if you've been doing taxes your entire life, you more than likely have gone through one of those bank products before, at least once, right? So with the bank products, it's like you're in the system. They look at your history, have you been getting your money held by IRS previously? And as long as you haven't, and you have some good history in terms of getting your refund and it not being taken, they'll give you some money. How much of it? Honestly, just depends, like I said, on your history. But I would say for our bank products, for instance, we can get you guys up to, $6,500 in cash advance. Right. And then so what they pretty much do is just issue a cash advance on your refund. And like I said, they base that on whether or not you have a good history and how much you're going to get back, which means if you're only getting back $3,000, you can only get up to $3,000 in a cash advance. That's it. If you're getting 12 grand or something like that, we can only get you, 6.5, most of the time the max is actual 6,500. That's actually most of the time. I think some people like to over exaggerate it, like we can get you your whole refund back, but that's pretty much not the case. Most of the time it's 6,500 is the cap, but at least they'll be able to get you that much, especially when people need that money right then and there coming out of the holidays. They want it right then.
Yeah, especially coming, old Saint Nick, he got everybody money, so they trying to bounce back.
Yeah. People go crazy in the holiday season. They're like, oh, how can I get it? But I love that. Like, especially like from January 1st to, I would say, Valentine's Day, I'm heavy on the cash advance, tip. Like, hey, cash advances, we got you. If you get approved today, as a matter of fact, I'll give you an extra $50 cash or whatever, just to get that person to file.
Right. Because even though like IRS open up in January, from the federal standpoint, it usually take about 2-3 weeks for you to actually get the money. 21 days, I think. So
yep.
So you probably won't be getting the average people, if they file at the end of January, they probably won't get their money until about mid-February.
Yep. Especially if you file early. If you file early, you're obviously waiting a little while. If you file not so early, like right when they're actually giving, money out, then you're still probably waiting like 2 to 3 weeks. If you don't have any kids or anything, again, you still have to wait, but it's not too bad, right? If you don't file early, typically you're looking at like, 14 days. But I always like to say up to 21 days because you never know that person's situation.
So basically, the person who does tax prep, they're on their own balls. So the money, I'm just trying to put it all together. The money that they earn, that they charge the client, doesn't come directly out the client's pocket. It comes out the refund. And the bank is like a middle person to make sure you ain't got to chase JJ down the street. He get a tax going off on you.
Right.
You your money and it comes to your account. So I can imagine like once they get in like full cycle, like you do about 30, 40 refunds and then everybody starting getting their money back. That money just hitting your account every day. I know that.
Correct. Yeah. Well, they drop it, like two times a week, but it does. I mean, we see some crazy numbers. Sometimes it's like, especially like I said, when that money starts dropping after people early file, when IRS really starts hitting them in, you'll see like some of the big deposits. You're like, ooh, that's 100,000 in my, in that account right now.
Yeah. But what about like, because like if it's a tax preparer, he or she is only one person. What's the average time you think it takes to do a person's tax return?
Honestly, I would say like an easy one. Let's just say a simple W-2 return. Even that person has 2 W-2s, like 15-20 minutes max.
Oh wow! I can throw like an hour and a half.
No, not for simple returns. Now, when we're talking about more complicated stuff, it does take a little bit longer. Yes, like if you're implementing like profit loss statements, if someone has like a side business or an actual small business, things like that, it starts taking a little bit longer because now you're almost sort of accounting for them. But simple tax returns, even if like someone, kids will go to school, college students, I knock them out in like 25 minutes, maybe max,
So realistically, you can do about between 5 to 7 returns daily comfortably without overworking yourself.
Yeah, I mean, I do the double digits personally, but yes.
The double digits. How many is the double digits? More than 12?
Yeah, no, we do like I don't know. I'll say on like a boring day, maybe like 50.
Wow.
Maybe like on like a boring day, and that's a boring day. So yeah, no. I mean, if you do the marketing right, is if you have your, like, what I like to do too, and tell people, and also honestly, my students, and I teach this in like in my 5K program, like my students know, like, referrals are gold. So if you're offering people 50 to 100 bucks, and what we like to say is 5 for 500, meaning every time someone sends you a referral, you send them 50 bucks, right?
Mm-hmm.
But once they send you that fifth person, you give them an extra $250 bonus. So now on their fifth person, they're getting $500. They're gonna strive to get you those 5 people because they want that 500 bucks. They don't want to go home with 250 or less than they want the 500. So they're gonna strive for it. If you can pay them right then and there, even better. And that's why I like to say use credit card, use some funding when you're first starting your business so that you can do that stuff. Because if you pay people right away, they're going to give you back clients right away.
Exactly.
But if you can't, obviously, you could just let them know, okay, once that file goes through, meaning once you get the money, then you could tell them, once the refund processes, I'll give you your money, and they'll know because their friends will tell them, oh, I got my money, and so they'll text you like, hey, Jason got his money, and you can give them their 50
I'm just trying to figure out, like, from a, like, let's say, for example, I'm intrigued by it. I might, I used to do taxes, but I did it to, hey, I'm gonna do the taxes over the double tax for you, charge you the money.
Yeah, no, you got to structure it.
But that was back in the day when I was younger, so I was doing
Right.
taxes like 2012, 2013 to try to make some money. But what is the logistics side? Let's say, for example, I got a client that's in Virginia. I live in Maryland, and they can't make it to my office. Like, is the software that we're using can take a picture of their W-2s? Like, how do we get that information that's sensitive?
So the software I use, first of all, is Fast Tax Pro, right? And so with Fast Tax Pro, there's an app integration where if my clients aren't, because honestly, I have an office, but most of my clients personally are virtual clients. Okay. So I get a lot of like walk-in stuff, but like literally 90% of my client base are people that just hit me up like, hey, Steph, or they see, or like I said, because I push myself and I market a lot. So most of my clients are virtual clients. As soon as someone hits me up, I send them the link for the app. They download it, and it's quick. Pretty much, they'll make like a little username. They can put all their documents there, put in their preliminary information, meaning like their names, social, kids' names, address, and telephone number and email, right? They upload their documents, and that's it. That's all they have to do. And and then now it's in our system. Sometimes they'll text me, hey, I sent it over, but they don't even got to do that because boom, I see it in our system. I got the notification. It's in our system now, which is great. And, I can start on the tax return, or one of my reps can start on it. Or what we like to do is, and I say this, even again, I teach this to my students, get some VAs, outsource the work. In order for you to grow, you can't concentrate on, I got to sit here for, whatever, and bust this out, right? If you just, even if one of your friends ain't got a little job, pay them 50 bucks per return when it comes in to do it for you. Like VAs are cheap, right? You know what I mean? Like a few bucks per hour. Get a VA, put in the preliminary information for you, or put in all the information for you. You go in as a preparer, you double check everything. Anything in detail, anything that you need to add, any credits, any deductions, now you can do it. But everything is already there, which means, the like I said, all the documents are already uploaded. Your VA has already put in the general stuff, meaning data entry. We're talking about just putting in the W-2 information itself, and literally all that stuff is copy and paste. I told you can do taxes in 15 minutes. So literally, what you see, just copy and paste. You just copy it on the return, and that's all they pretty much have to do. So what you would do, like I said, at that point is just double check everything and send it on, send it on through.
So is there like any license or certification or permit you need to do this?
Yeah, for sure. So a couple things you need if you're just a preparer, like if you're joining a team, like my reps who join our team, all you need is your P10. So your PTIN, okay? So it's like pretty much your preparer identification number in order for you to do taxes. So your P10 is $35 through the IRS. There's no test or anything to get it. You just have to have like no criminal background. You shouldn't know the IRS anything because that could possibly hinder you from getting your P10, right?
Right.
So it just allows you to be able to legally do taxes. Now, if you're actually having your own either virtual or physical brick and mortar office to do taxes, then you need an EFIN, electronic filing identification number. Okay. So that allows you to electronically file your clients. And then also, pretty much no bank product or software is going to take you if you don't have an EFIN. You know, you could do it on like TurboTax or whatever, but you don't want to do that's like don't do that. So get your EFIN, right? No, you can't have like a criminal background. So they'll kind of they'll go through that. Make sure you don't have a criminal background. Make sure you never broke any kind of compliance laws. Like if you've been a preparer and you made, they pretty much make sure you didn't have any like compliance issues or any complaints. So as long as you pretty much pass that, pretty much simple stuff, honestly. Once you pass it, you do the application. You do have to go get your fingerprints when you do your EFIN. So you can go to like a local sheriff's office or whatever, get your fingerprints done, send your application over. They do get back to you, and I think it takes like 6 to 8 weeks. Especially, you know, because of COVID, things take a little longer now. But 6 to 8 weeks, and they get back to you with your EFIN number, and you're golden. And now you can get your software, like we talked about. You're able to get your bank product, and you can start to do the taxes, because that's really the main thing. You really just, that's all you need.
So it's safe to say, like you better get on it like right now if you want to catch the wave for.
Oh yeah, no, you have to do it. You have to do it right now, especially when if you want your own EFIN to be your own entity. Like sometimes if like my students are not able to get their own EFIN, we allow them to go, or they can't that first year because it's too late, or they can't for whatever reason. We allow them to obviously operate under our EFIN, and you know we do obviously work out a deal with them so that they're still sort of operating as their own business. But you want to at least try, right? Try to get your EFIN, but at the very least, get your P10. That's only $35, you know, and that's, I mean, it's simple stuff, you know. And as long as you can get it done early, get it done right now. You have to obviously do training, you know. That's because that's pretty important too. You have to do compliance training to make sure you're not breaking any rules and that you're operating as and doing your due diligence as a preparer and a business. And
So
that's
what the
it.
software comes with that training, or the separate whole training you gotta go get?
So with our software that I'm partnered with, we do offer training.
Okay.
Now, some softwares don't. You have to go out and do your own training. IRS has a training. They have a enrolled agent training, so it's like an EA training, and so you can do that. So which I suggest because again, you want to do that early. IRS has an enrolled agent training, but they also have a P10 training. It's simple, sort of small. It's pretty much like it's like a due diligence training. So they pretty much
Right,
go over like
right.
compliance and due diligence.
So what are some things you can give, like some advice? Like let's say, for example, I'm getting started. Like how could I be successful without, what to look for? Like if a person comes to you and you clearly know that their stuff junky, they got like they try to claim all these kids and they try to do all this. Like what do you do to make sure that you're not participating in something that you know ain't right?
So that's what the right, the earn income or the trainings come in for compliance and doing your due diligence, right? So for me, someone comes in, they got these kids, they don't look like it's theirs, you know what I mean? I'll ask them for documents. So you want to make sure, first of all, when someone is filing with you want to make sure you have their ID. Okay. You
Okay.
don't necessarily need their social as far as according to the IRS, but you need their ID and all of their documents. Make sure all that stuff is prepared and ready. And you ask them, is this pretty much all that you have? Right now, when
what it takes, and then we give them a call to action where they can sign up for your coaching and literally hop in the HOD.
They said repeat the number 407-605-2727. I'll throw it in the I'll throw it in the chat here. 605-2727. That way you guys have it. So yeah, man, tap into the coaching program. You know, at the end of the day, this is a great opportunity. If you literally want to be in the tax business, believe me, I can help you get there, and not just help you get there, but also help you scale your business. And like I said, the good thing is with giving you that funding and credit repair opportunity, you can be getting clients right now and getting money. Even if even if you haven't yet learned in the program how to do it, I'm already working partnerships out. I always do it with my new students. We work out partnerships to everyone that you send me. You still make that good money on it. So at the end of the day, you're not losing clients. You're not faulting on anything. You're pretty much making most of the money for your clients. You just, you know, pay my reps for doing the little work that they need to do, and that's it. You know, but we'll help you from start to bottom. So definitely make sure you guys go ahead and click that link that we have in the chat, or just go to greenwavetax.com/join-us. Tap into the program. I know it's a 5K program, but at the end of the day, it's worth it. We're offering a lot. Software alone, just to be clear, guys, is $1,400 to $3,000 just for software alone. And by getting into our program, you literally pay $11.99 for full-blown software to cover you for the year.
Yeah.
Okay. Everything included in the program. The bank product actually comes with the software, so you don't even have to pay to initialize that. I mean, come on.
Yeah. It's a no-brainer. I like turnkey.
No-brainer.
I like turnkey business programs like this. These are, like I said, I'm gonna try to help you get my stuff together, because I got a crazy email list. So I can, hey yo, I want to thank this group, send out an email and see what happens. So
Oh yeah, and we're out of Orlando, so you know, I see someone ask that too if we're in Orlando. So definitely out of Orlando, but again, taxes, all these services you can do from anywhere. So that's the amazing part about it.
yeah, so like I said, guys, follow us, me at CEO929, Steph that does it.
Steph that does it.
Yeah, she be doing her thing with her reels. I gotta get back on my reels. I was like,
yeah, you have. You have. Call them out, guys.
Yeah, but all right, guys. I'll talk to y'all later. See you on the next one. And like I said, if you're watching the replay, just all you gotta do is go to greenwaytax.com/join us. And if
join dash us.
Yeah, join dash us. If that don't pop up, go to Greenway Tax. I'm pretty sure you'll find us somewhere.
And if you guys need the funding or the credit repair, again, make sure you text that number 407-605-2727. Just text me funding, credit repair. Even if you need it for the tax business because you want me to send you the link, do that. Just text me what you're looking for, just the one word, and we got you covered.
Awesome. Have a good night, guys.
All right, have a good night. Thank you so much.